Let's continue our discussion of collections by talking about stacks and queues. There's a stack project and a queue project within the core programming in use. We'll take a look at the stack first. Just a namespace, our stack class C stack. Then we just have some main functionality here. We're using system.collections again. That's how we get in here. That's the namespace. Now we're going and actually working with the stack class. Capital S equals new stack. Instantiate a new stack. Stacks are last in, first out. We're stacking plates. So if you think in terms of taking one plate and stacking it on top of each other, that's a stack. When you need to get a plate, you're going to take the top plate, which is the last in. Last in, first out. The last plate on the top, first plate out. And then you get all the way to the bottom. That's the first plate, but it's the last one that you're going to be able to use. So what we do is push elements onto the stack, s.push. We put the text there, and then we're just going to output the same text just to show you what it says. s.push, and then we do the same thing, world, and then exclamation point. So that's how we push it onto the stack, and then we grab from the stack. We can get the count if we want to. You can do lots of different things. S dot is going to let you see that you can clear, find out the contains here if you wanted to do contains, as you can see here. And you can just see the help text. This is going to determine if an element is actually in this stack. And you can use the signature here, as you can see. And there are other things you can do as well, but we're exploring the basic functionality, including the enumerator. So here we go with the count, like I said, and then we're printing the details. We're passing the stack to this function here at the bottom. And this is the enumerator. We're working with system.collections.iEnumerator. That's our variable, and then myCollection.getEnumerator, because this is a part of our collection, which is passed in there. The stack is going to be treated as an iEnumerable interface. And then what we can do is we can just do a move next, like I mentioned in the video on working with hash tables. You have to call the move next first. You're not pointing at the first element, and then you just while loop through each element until there are no more. When .next, move.next doesn't have another element, it's going to be false. So then it's going to stop with the while loop. But until that happens, we're going to use a variable to increment a count here, and then we're going to write myEnumerator.current to get the current value there. And we'll just debug that. Take a peek. And you can see we have the count of 3. And then as we get the current one, we're popping and we're getting off of the stack here in reverse order, exclamation world hello. So it goes backwards. Let's take a peek at Q. Works similarly, but it's not a stack. So a queue works like any queue that you might be standing in. A queue is the first person in, or the first thing in, or first in, first out. So you stand in line, you're the first one there, you're getting tickets to a concert, fabulous. If it worked the other way around, there'd be a lot more late people. But a queue, first in, first out. So you work with it the same way, system.collections, and then a queue, class, queue equals new queue. And now you use this word, enqueue, and this is how you're going to be adding to the queue. Hello, world, exclamation. And then when we write things out, we can do the count again, of course. Print details, now we're passing in the queue, same iEnumerable, my collection, and then we do the same thing, get enumerator, and then myEnumerator.current. And then that is what's going to get output. Very similar, except it's in the reverse order. Everything is going to be very similar except for this part here. Great to work with stacks and queues. Use them as you need to. All written for you. You don't have to reinvent the wheel at all.